Hello YouTube. Welcome to another video. I am so excited to show you guys this build. Oh my goodness, I've been working hard on it. It took me so long to get inspiration for this, but I built a sort of like a traditional ramen shop in my like quote-unquote hidden leaf village that I made for Koga in the Withered Wastelands, and this was the result. It's got plenty of space for Pokemon to come in and eat and hang out. And I really want to show you guys the inside, but not until the end of the video, so make sure you stick around for the end to see that, because otherwise that's spoilers, and that's no fun. This is a speed build video, so I'll be kind of walking you through the process step by step to show you how I built this. Without further ado, let's get into it. So for this, I think I'm going to start slow here, and then probably build up quite a lot. I usually start off sorry, I can't even talk today. That's fine. I usually start off pretty slow with my builds, and then I like gradually ramp up the speed just because at first I'm trying to figure out where I want things to be in space. And it really takes me a minute to figure that out. Especially with builds like the Withered Wasteland. Like I said, this took me a little while to like get the inspiration for. At first I was thinking like, what if I did a food truck type cafe, and that wasn't really like working the way that I wanted it to. So this kind of ended up being the inspiration, and I think it turned out like super beautifully, so I really can't wait to show you guys what I've got going on here. I'm just taking these wooden wall pieces and kind of lining them up roughly where I want the walls to be going forward. This is kind of like a boring part of the build, so I apologize. But hopefully my voice and the lovely music can keep us company. The music is provided by Glitch City. She is awesome and makes really, really beautiful Pokemon lo-fi and just Pokemon remixes in general. Also just general video game remixes. She's got everything. So you should definitely go and check out her channel. I'll put it in the description for you to check out if you want to. All of the music that's in my video today is stuff by her, so special thanks to Glitch City for providing that. You do awesome work, keep it up. I took these regular window panes, I think that's what they're called, and just kind of lined them up for the window since they're linkable blocks. Some of them are linkable blocks and some of them aren't, so like the fences will link up if you put them next to each other. Just like some blocks are paintable and some aren't. So skipping over here, I'm just putting some of the stone tiling as the flooring in here. I took some inspiration from like traditional Japanese ramen shops. I like found some images on Google Images and sort of tried to make it similar. I have never been to Japan. I think that would be really fun. But until such day as I become super rich or marry into a wealthy family, that's not gonna happen. I can't find Smeargle. So I guess I'll do a quick little tour of Azeroth here. Well, sorry, this is not Azeroth. What am I doing? This is Withered Wastelands. Silly me. Silly Raven. Tricks are for kids. I got that walkway though. I like these walkways a lot better than the like brick housing ones, or what are they called? The brick roof? The flat ones? The flat brick roof looks really good. The flat roof in general looks really good, but you can't put stuff on top of it, and it's very limited in what you can do around it, and I love to put stuff around my builds and make it like super involved, so I like these walkways a lot better than the flat roofs. I ended up kind of repainting them again from the solid black. I wanted the red like bottom parts because they look a little more traditionally Japanese, okay? And I will not be elaborating based on my extremely limited knowledge of Japan, having never been there again. I really wanted that exhibition stand thing to work, but it just didn't end up doing that, so I ended up putting this little tablet up here to like create sort of like an online orders area, I guess. I think that would kind of modernize the build, so that's what I ended up doing. I took these outside tiles and I sort of did some terraforming as well here. I don't know if you can hear my pets freaking out in the background. I'm really sorry if that's happening. I always think that it's like audible in the background, and it almost never is, but apologies if that is the case. I have 2 cats and a dog, and they are quite rambunctious at times, we'll say. I really like that you can put the rugs outside, so I ended up doing that for this build too. I don't think I almost never do that just because I think it's really easy to overdo that, but that's like a me thing. If you feel confident making builds of all rugs, you know what? I think you should live your dream. You do you, honey boo boo. I wanted to create like a really large archway sort of thing. I was thinking originally I'd put these chains here and then get some of the wall hanging monitors. I don't actually have the recipe for that, so I had to print them with the Pokemetal, the 3D printing. I also kind of tend to avoid doing the Pokemetal printing, just out of habit. Another commenter the other day asked me, like, something along the lines of, like, why don't you just 3D print the Sudowoodo things from that Year Fools event? And I was like, cause I hoard the Pokemetal like a dragon. Don't question me. It's fine. But the wall hanging monitors didn't really work the way I wanted them to. I was hoping that I could hang them off the chains and that would look really cool, but that just didn't really work. I wanted it to be like kind of a menu vibe. Like, here's all the stuff that you can order. You can see it from the street. Hooray. But another thing you can do is actually put blocks behind them and then destroy those blocks, and they'll still kind of float there, so that's really helpful. You can do this with most things and have floating items. The only things that you can't do them with are like the grass and stuff that's like affixed to the actual block. So like the posters and the ivy that you have to long hold ZR for, or A, whatever yeah, you know what I mean. The leaf, oh my god, I can't speak, it's fine. Anyway, if you destroy the blocks that have the ivy wrapped around all of them or any foliage on them, it'll destroy the foliage too and turn them into seeds. Also the same for the posters, except for it'll just drop the poster and you can pick it back up. I'm sure you'll see that later when I struggle immensely with putting the posters up. That's gonna be a whole thing. Spoilers. I put a little more of these walkways up here. I thought it would look nice for like an aesthetic thing. The Charizard rug also looks great as an entrance mat. I was like so ecstatic about that. I like these little, what are they called? The wooden flooring. I use those like as a border around the entrance. I thought it was good to kind of mix up the blocks there. Give it a little pizzazz, a little razzle dazzle. I put a table and some resort chairs out here. Resort stools? I think that's what they're called. The resort stools. And then 2 of the chic lights. I ended up not really liking the monitors here, so I'm gonna go ahead and move those. And I'm gonna replace them with these hanging curtains. The simple curtains, I believe they're called. It looks so much better as like a more traditional ramen shop vibe. Traditional Japanese, to have like the curtains hanging there. I also really wanted this wall monitor to work here, but I don't think it really ended up working there. So I ended up moving it again. But these curtains look so good as the entrance, so I decided to put them here as well. But I didn't realize that I needed to actually make this space a little taller. Every time I build, I think another builder that I saw recently mentioned this as well, where they like feel that they have to build so much more farther out than they originally anticipate. And I feel that too. That's just a common thing, I think. I don't know if Minecraft builders feel the same way. If you ever built in Minecraft, let me know. Do you guys feel the same? I really wanted these awnings. I wasn't sure what color to paint them. I just knew that maybe they would work for the build. I like to kind of build on the fly and just kind of, I don't know, mess around with some ideas. So that's kind of what I was doing here. I really wanted these awnings to work. They do look pretty cute there, honestly. I ended up kind of liking them, but I also, they look just a little bit too like American Diner, and I didn't really want that, so I ended up replacing them with the flat brick roofs, and they were painted black on the top, and then I believe the bottom I just left unchanged, or may have painted red, I don't remember. Ended up putting this town map right here. Give it a little pizzazz. I do apologize, I'm moving the camera quite a lot when I'm making these, so I apologize if the jerking movements are like kind of hard for you to track. You know, if you get confused, you can just stare deeply into my eyes. I think it'll work out. But I added some more flat brick roofs up here. I need to speak slower. That's the thing that I need to learn. I will over time, I'm sure. I also added these string lights that I painted red. I really like the red painted string lights for this build. I think that they like really add the exact kind of mood lighting that I wanted here. So they really worked out. They're really great for any kind of like traditional Japanese build you're trying to make. Highly recommend the red string lights. Although I just use every single, like, I use the string lights in every single build. I will not apologize at this point. I am an addict and I will not apologize. String lights for life. I did some more terraforming and then I put this little Arcanine doll here. And then I also decided to kind of terraform, or not terraform, but add some like foliage, some bushes and trees and things. Just kind of decorate the outside a little bit more. I really like using the bushes in my builds. Like there's so many different colors of the bushes and the flowers that like you can really get creative with it. I ended up adding some wooden slats here just to add some dimension and detail, and then I fast traveled back to Azarath to take a picture of the hanging scroll here. By the way, if you guys like what you see here on Azarath and you want to see a full tour, there is a video that I've already uploaded on YouTube that you can go ahead and check out in the little comment thingy up above. It doesn't let me point here because my model is dumb, but it's up there and you should check it out if you like Azarath. But anyway, back to the build. I took those hanging scrolls and I made copies of them. I think they're really necessary for this build. They're so pretty. I mean, look at that. Look how good that looks. I mean, it fits in perfectly with the build I think that we're going for. So, I mean, I have no notes. It's great. I added some more of the red string lights as well later to this top part. But then I also added some of the ivy that wraps all the way around the block. Huh, just like your mom. I make that joke every time, but you know what? It never gets old. More of these wooden slats things. The like original place that I found those wooden slat things were like up against water to sort of like make it a more enclosed looking space in Bleak Beach and stuff, but I ended up reusing them for this build just to give some more like detail and dimension. I think they're really, really useful for that, and I didn't discover that until this build. So, fun fact, if anyone wants to use those, you should. They're really cool. I ended up using the hanging table, the hanging wall table, I believe it's called, for this. And then I just created like a dummy wall that I'm just gonna destroy in a second anyway, just to trick them into placing properly. But I wanted it to look like a traditional ramen shop with the group seating and everything in the front. And then here I am just adding some of the more string lights and putting some more stuff on the outside to make it look a little more detailed. I really wanted to like these awnings. I don't think I ever ended up really liking them too much, but I made them work anyway. I'm trying to add some string lights here, and this just isn't working either, and I really wanted to attach them to the bottom of the awning here, and that just didn't work, and it made me sad, so I just destroyed them and tried something else. I wanted to add more of these like little walkway things just to give some platform, some depth to above the windows and the entryways. That's a really good way to do that if you guys are kind of looking for easy ways to add detail. I also added more of those vines. I'll add more of them too as we get through this build. I did some more terraforming here. I just wanted to make this a little more uniform, so I have a little more room to build at least. I'm gonna need to put a whole kitchen in here too, so I need to figure out how to do that. How I'm gonna fit that in here. I put more of these wooden walls. I ended up just putting them all the way around. Sometimes I do a little extra detail in my builds. Well, I'll like mix up the wall type halfway up the wall to make it look a little more interesting, but I didn't end up doing that with this one. I did end up adding like a really big window back here. I wanted there to be some visibility with the waterfall back here. I just really didn't want to completely block it off. That seemed like a waste. And then I put more of the wooden flooring in here as well. I really like the dark wooden flooring for the outside of this. With the stone tiling on the inside is really pretty. So I ended up going back to the Pokemon Center. Here, I was gonna go make copies of the plants. So the tall potted plant and then the twisted one. This one is like a fan palm, and then the other one's basically like a mini tree, the twisted potted plant. So I ended up making copies of both of those to use in the build. These plants are so versatile. I wish that they had a build build recipe for them, but I haven't found one yet. If you guys have, please let me know, because as far as I know, there isn't one for these, and I really would like one. I didn't really like how this fanned plant looked right there, so I ended up putting a little money tree here. I don't know that that's what they're called in game, but that's what I'm gonna call them. I wasn't sure where to put the fan plant or the fan palm. So I ended up putting the chic light right here and then the fan palm on the end right here, and that ended up looking just amazing. So I went with it. More ivy here. More ivy here. And more here. It's coming along. I want to add some seating areas as well. Over near where the money tree is, but let me place some more of those little slats. They look like foundation almost. Just something extra to give a little zhuzh, a little pizzazz. Some little tulips right there and a bench. Makes the illuminated bench habitat. You will see me looking at my inventory quite a lot during my builds. I like to kind of go with the flow and just roll with whatever I'm feeling, and whatever's in my inventory, I'm gonna try and put in the build. If it doesn't fit in there, it doesn't work, and that's fine, but I do like the red walkway up there with the black top of it, and then the red string lights look amazing with that little to-go order area. And then back here, I wanted to add some more seating, but I wasn't sure how this ivy was gonna work with that. Sometimes if you put the ivy in, it'll block you from adding tiles that are right next to it like that, and that's what I was worried about. So I ended up taking the ivy back out and then just putting the wooden table in anyway, and then the iron chairs I thought would look really good there too, just to still sort of give it like an industrial modern ramen shop vibe, but almost like, I don't know, also kind of traditional. I don't know, man, I'm just here vibing. I ended up putting all the cooking things in here because it just didn't feel like a proper ramen shop without all of the cooking things. Obviously, we have to have a full chef's kitchen, otherwise it's not a restaurant. Silly. So I put the cooking stove, the sink, refrigerator, and the bread oven, I believe it's called, and then some countertops here as well. It ended up feeling a little bit cramped, so I actually ended up moving the fridge and the bread oven later. And then I also ended up moving the cooking pot and doing something else entirely with that. I really can't wait to show you guys what I did with that. I'm actually kind of proud of it. I had forgotten that you could do a special thing with the cooking pot with another item, and I actually have that item in my inventory right now, so we'll test it out in a little bit. But I wanted to put more of these wooden walls up as well. I think I'm gonna put them all the way around, like I said. The cool thing is you can still put them up against the ivy blocks, even the ones that wrap all the way around, even if you can't put other blocks next to them. It seems kind of silly, but you can't put furniture next to them, but you can put other blocks, I guess I should say. And then I put more of the window up there, and then replaced more of the ground tiling with the stone tiling. It's starting to come along. Here I was trying to figure out if I could use this like wraparound piece like this, and I really couldn't. So if anyone tries to do that, you can't. Now you know. So I ended up just using the flat ones instead. I really wanted this to work, but I think it only works the other way around. Like if it's an outer corner, if that makes sense. It probably doesn't. Okay, so this was part of the plan that I was talking about for the cooking pot. If you put a campfire, eventually, the lid, I'll put it somewhere, and then a Magby, and then if you put a switch next to the Magby and the campfire, if you step on the switch, it will light the Magby, which will light the campfire next to the Magby, which means that you can light it yourself, essentially. Self-immolating campfire. I ended up putting these wooden slats all the way up here. I think they looked really good and did a really good job of separating the space between the kitchen and the dining area. Okay, so this is what I was talking about with the Magby thing too. So I put the cooking pot right on top of the campfire, and it just makes its own little cooking pot campfire set thing. So if you have a cooking pot, you can just put it straight on top of a campfire. I think that also works for the frying pan. I'm not sure, so don't quote me on that. I haven't tested it, but it seems plausible. And that's the best I can do for now. I'm gonna put more of the wooden walls just all the way around the window, and everywhere else. I thought about turning this area into like a window, but I decided against it because we already have this giant one, and that's so much light already, and ramen shops usually aren't very bright, right? I don't know. I just work here. Anyway, I filled out this window, and then this one as well. This place already has quite a lot of lighting, so I figured it was okay to not turn that little area into a window also. I put more of these wooden slats all the way up, just to separate the area even more. And then I wanted to put that argyle rug there, but it didn't quite fit. And then I spent ages trying to figure out where the heck and how the heck to put up these posters. So I'm probably going to end up cutting a lot of that out. So bear with me on that. I put the monitors up there. I wanted it to still kind of be a menu vibe, where they seemed like they had menu items on the monitors. And then I put more of these curtains up too to separate the kitchen area from the dining area, just like you'd see at a ramen restaurant, or like a sushi restaurant as well. I really wanted these wooden slats to work here too, but in the end I kind of just decided to take them back. I didn't want them to block the quote-unquote menu TVs, so I ended up getting rid of them. These little curtains look really, really good here as a separator, as a divider between the dining area and the kitchen, but it's just one square too wide, and that was really bothering me. It was gonna bother me forever unless I fix it, so I just went ahead and fixed it. I also took this monitor and moved that as well, obviously. I have to take this whole window, and then I have to redo the window here too, because the thing with these linked windows is if you destroy half of them, they'll just look kind of weird, and you have to redo them so that they have the edges back. I put more of these wooden slats here, and then in the end I decided it was a little too samey. So I ended up taking them back. You can see here too with this wooden table, I had to redo it. I put some of the posters up now too. Like I said, it really took me a hot minute to find a good place for the posters. I ended up putting that argyle rug there because it was too big for the to-go order area. And then I put the Greninja poster up here. I really love this gold Greninja poster for this area. I think it's so perfect for the vibe. I tried to find a good place for the rest of these posters, but nothing quite fits the aesthetic like that gold Greninja poster. I like this Meadow poster too. I ended up liking the big posters in the game quite a lot. They're very useful. But you can see here with this wall-mounted table, I had to redo it because, like with the windows that are linked objects, when you destroy one of them, it doesn't round it back off, so you have to add it again, which is what I did here, to make it look a little more uniform. So this is what we've got so far. It's not bad. I'm gonna add a little bush over here. And little flowers up there. And then I decided to get these wooden partitions for the area where I just put the wooden slats next to the dining area. I decided to stack them and it ended up looking really, really good. Check it out. I think it really divides up the space without looking too samey. I feared that if I painted the wooden slats red and put them there instead, it just would have looked a little too uniform and samey. I don't want to reuse one item too many times, especially of the same color. I want to mix it up a little bit. And I used so many of these wooden slats that I was kind of afraid that I was gonna do too much. But these wooden walkways are really nice. I decided to paint them white for this little part. I thought that would look best to just kind of divide up the area a little more. And then for the roof pieces, I took the wooden, what is it called? The wooden pillar top. Yes. That's what I used for the roof pieces. They ended up looking really nice. And then I took the monitors back. This is just me moving the posters like a lot, so I'm probably gonna end up cutting a lot of that out. But I ended up placing the monitors somewhere else in the build. I didn't want them to be the menu monitors anymore. That idea wasn't really working out. I kept trying to make it work and it just wasn't. It was like fetch. Stop trying to make fetch happen, Gretchen. It's not gonna happen. So I ended up putting the monitors in a different area of the build. I ended up kind of making them more like dining area monitors where you can watch TV while you eat or something. You can put, I don't know, sports on or something. Whatever people watch when they go outside. Do you guys go outside? I don't, but I imagine this is what it looks like. So I ended up kind of moving the monitors to sort of frame better with the posters, I guess. And made more copies at the Pokemon Center of the fanned plant. I really like this one. It might be my favorite plant in the game. So I ended up putting that right there next to Victory Bell. I think it looks really good. And then I just took the rest of the wooden pillar top blocks and made the roof out of them. I also wanted to give power without being too obvious about it, so here's me just trying to figure out power for the inside of this. I didn't do a great job, but I just added the rest of the roof pieces here. I figured if I add the wireless power generators to the top, like where the roof is, and then just cover them with a roof tile, it'll be fine. And then this floor switch works too, just like I told you it would. And then I put the chic light there. It's coming along. So I took more of the corrugated roof, not more, but I took corrugated roof and painted it red and then put it all over the top of the build. I wanted to stick out just one square out from the actual block, which ended up looking really, really good. So, just placing this all the way around the roof. I ended up taking the awning tiles and just putting them up above the TV here near the kitchen area. And then some of the roof support up here with the roof sticking out by one tile just looks really, really good. So I decided to add even more of those. Along with some string lights, some of the regular white ones. I think they look really good in contrast to the red. They just add a little more visual interest, I will say. I added these little floor lights too on either side of the Charizard rug, just to sort of give it some entrance, and then two of them as well on top of the walkways in front of the to-go order area. One right here to give more lighting for the cashiers. I wanted to add string lights up against these wooden partitions, but that just didn't really work, unfortunately. So I ended up adding them against these wooden partitions. I'm gonna call these the wooden slats. I don't know what they're actually called, but that's what they're called in my mind now. And then I added more of the roof support just to frame it a little better. And then more of the white ones. There, that looks nice. Again, I apologize for the jerky movements of the camera. I'm gonna try and do better in next episodes of this. But I'm just gonna take more of the roof tile and hopefully try and finish off this roof. I took so many of the roof tiles, you guys. I also ran out of red paint during this, which has never happened to me before in my life. It was a jarring experience. 0 out of 10, do not recommend. I ended up adding these little wooden steps and then also the cobblestone steps outside of them. I thought that ended up looking really cute and very natural and just added a little more detail, and that's always what I'm all about, as you guys know. This was where I discovered that you can't put stuff on top of the roof tiles. Sad day for Raven. Sad day indeed. So I ended up kind of replacing them. You'll see that later. But the inside looks so good so far, you guys. Look at the lighting. I mean, exceptional. Added some more of these string lights. Off camera, I added some more details to the inside as I was moving over the posters. So you'll see like little hanging shelves and things. I like those a lot. I don't know if this will come through as slightly corrupted when I'm filming, but at certain points in the video, it's coming through as like a gray splotch, and I'm sorry if that happens. Just listen to my voice and look deep into my eyes, and everything's gonna be okay, okay? I moved this shelf over here, just one square over. I was trying to really get this area right. It still looks a little odd to me, but maybe that's just me. Maybe I've just stared at it for too long. Maybe it's like when you say a word too much and you're like, is that even a real word? It doesn't sound like one anymore. That's kind of where I got to the point in this build. So, yeah, I don't know. If it looks like doo-doo, let me know. As usual. I ended up moving these evil bricks, the evil roof tiles, and then put the walkways instead, because you can actually put stuff on top of them, and I really need that so I can put the red string lights up there. The red string lights up there look amazing, by the way, and I do not regret it. Also, if you want to add some extra detail, I highly recommend using these little wooden slats for that. Like, they're very versatile. You don't think that they are, but they just look really good. They add just a little more extra dimension to whatever you're building on, and they give it a little more visual intrigue. I think I've said that before in this build, but every time you can add just a little more detail, I think you guys should. That's what I do for my builds. I put these little wooden walkways up here too, and then the red string lights. It takes me a minute to kind of figure out what I want to do on this side, and on the other side too. I still will probably add more to it eventually, just as I continue building out this village, so make sure you like subscribe to the channel if you want to see future builds like this, because I'm sure that I'll continue adding to it as I keep building out this area. If you guys haven't seen this area yet too, you can check out the entire tour of it on my channel as well. That video is already on here too. I'll link it in the description. I don't think I can put it as a card because I already did that for another video, but I have been doing a lot of Pokopia builds lately, and I have both of that and the Azarath build on my channel right now for you guys to check out if you want to after this video. But I have this little kitchen area done. Everything on the inside is done, I think. It looks so good, you guys. I like it a lot. I've been kind of lazy and really need to finish the roof though, but this ivy looks so good too. It's really nice to be able to use as a detail. Especially in this area, having it be like the quote-unquote hidden leaf village means that everything's gonna be really, really naturey. and those leaves help a lot with that. The vines, I should say, not leaves. I added a little fence here. I thought that would be cute. I'm probably gonna have to edit the pathway, so it makes a little more sense with the fence there. But then I also added a couple more shelves here, just a little bottle shelf there, and then a bookshelf here, the hanging one. That's so cute. I love those little tiny shelves. So I put more of these on the bottom. I kind of wanted it to look like a foundation for a house, sort of, almost. I don't think it really looks like that. Maybe it does, I don't know. And then I stopped being lazy about the roof and finished it up. I didn't like the way that these looked at this angle, so I just went ahead and redid this so they were a little more uniform with the rest of the roof. And then the same to the other side. I still ran out of roof tiles there, so I had to go get more. I ended up putting a little more foliage and grassy type stuff, naturey type stuff on the walkways up here. I just wanted it to be a little more different than the front. I didn't do that in the front at all, so. I also added these little mushroom lights. I think these are so cute, especially for this build. I was trying to avoid having to like actually physically power everything. I'm trying to conserve on power just a little bit because I know that this whole island is going to be nuts by the time I'm done with it, so I'm trying to start early. And the mushroom lights don't take any actual power. They are self-powering, so that's good for me. I think they look really, really cute in front here too. That was a great move. I thought those little slots look good right here and right here. You can actually walk right through them, so they don't block the walkway at all for the kitchen, which I thought was really helpful. And then I put the little cobblestone path more right there, along with a little more foliage. One more bush over here. And a chestnut tree we moved earlier. Full circle. Circle of life, y'all. Now that it's raining, I'm gonna finish the roof. The roof actually does look really, really cool in the rain. And then I ran out of tiles immediately and had to go back and get more. But before I do that, let me do some terraforming really quick and just get some stuff out of the way so that I can actually fit the roof over here. I decided to put more of the dark red string lights up there and just tried to find other places I could put them that would accent the build a little more. And in the end, I actually decided to move the cafe sign, the lamp, and the plant all around. So cafe sign went there, lamp went there, and then the plant went here. And I actually think that ended up looking really, really cute. Back here on the outside, I got rid of these string lights. And then I went and put the white walkway paths in. I thought that would be a really good way to break up the visual colors, I guess, of this area. Like I said, I didn't want it to look too samey. So I wanted to switch it up a little bit where I could and make it look a little more exciting and, I don't know, intriguing for the eye. I put a lot more of these vines up here. This is sort of the end of the build where I'm like, I don't know what to do to finish it off, but I need to. And it's still not really done. I ended up having to entirely redo the power around here because I couldn't figure it out. I don't really know what happened. I was having a time, y'all. I was really having a time. I was trying to figure out if there was a place where I could put a wireless power transmitter in the roof or something so that it would work, but I took all the power out in the area and I broke it and I didn't like it and I had to fix it and it was scary. So please enjoy watching me struggle. I'll probably end up cutting a lot of this out. Yeah, I destroyed my hedge while trying to fix the power, so this game is only relaxing unless that happens, I will say. I was mad. My poor hedge. Do you have any idea how long it takes to grow a hedge in this economy? I actually ended up changing up what I wanted to do with this side of the area. This is like the last little thing that I did. But I had to take the vines out to make this work. Bear with me though. Hear me out. Hear me out. Let her cook. So I put the red wooden slats. And I ended up putting them all the way up in the build, but that's not pictured on video. What is pictured on video is something that I would say is perhaps even better. So with these vines, I discovered something magical. I discovered that you can put them next to each other on a different slat. And I guess now my data's gonna corrupt. But look, you can put them on the slat next to them. And you can look, it looks like they're wrapping around the wooden slats, and I don't know why it let me do that. I can't figure out what the limit is on that, but it looks really good. And I think it's the vines have to be right next to each other, and you have to approach it from a certain angle, but it lets you do it, and it looks really good. I ended up putting the rest of the white walkways over here. I thought it would be a nice, like, awning area, I guess, for the bench and for the vending machine. So I just kind of did my best trying to decorate this last little area over here. It's probably not my best work, but whatever. This is the final build. Welcome, everyone. We did it. You know what? I think we did really amazing. I mean, I don't even know. I'm speechless. Let's just watch. This build turned out so amazing. I just wanted to give a special thank you for everyone who has been watching and been so supportive. I'm really enjoying building in Pokopia, so having all this support has been really, really fantastic and encouraging for me. So thank you so much to everyone who's been commenting and everything. If you guys really like my builds, you can rebuild them. I don't mind. And if you're creators, just give credit if you get inspiration for my ideas. That would be really, really awesome if you could give credit. But thank you so much, everyone, for watching. I hope that you have a great rest of your day or evening or whatever time it is where you are. Stay safe out there. Take care of yourselves. Thanks for watching. Bye.